In the name of God, who gave life to many people and encouraged the multiplication of life, which makes groups stronger than individuals working alone. Jolani is holding us hostage in Idlib, and he said it's because of the ideology, but he has never given an ideological talk in his life. So Jolani is taking our children, the sons of the mothers of Idlib, and holding them hostage. Can you imagine if I were to take a son of Jolani and hold him hostage, or to raise him as I wish, to raise Jolani's sons as I wish? Can you imagine? And this is what he has imposed upon us. We're outraged. We expect apologies, and we expect the government of Idlib to act, and silence is cooperation. We can't imagine what is the motivation of this man named Jolani, and while he tells us in our face it's ideological and we just cannot believe it, we're looking to Idlib at what they have of value, and it's clear on the satellite images. This has put Syria in number 5 in 2010 in the world trade of phosphate, which contains uranium, as well as so many other chemical components. These are treasure mines. They are here, right outside Idlib. This is the only thing that Jolani has of value except the sons of the mothers of Syria. It's absolutely gigantic. There's another one here. These are on the northwest of Idlib. Let's get my heading again. So what we saw was this one here, hidden almost, depending on your heading. And there's more here, too. It seems there's a small operation here. The satellite images were 2021 or 2022, the last I remember. These phosphate mines are outside of the prison. This is the only thing that Al-Jolani has in Idlib that is worth anything except our sons of the revolution. I'm going to read 2 papers. And I have something that goes along with them. In the name of God, who put trillions of dollars of gas, phosphate, diamonds, and gold under Syria, because he wished for the people of the land to each have a home of gold and a free gas for all time, and who wishes the women of Syria to be adorned with diamonds. In the start, we trusted each other with open hearts. Families put their faith in our small arms and our cause when we faced a government who was a world power in trade. The government had an air force. We had radar and radios. The government air force is now incinerated by our revolution. The government sent foreign armies with boots on the ground against Kalashnikovs and Genom. Families took haven in our armies of the revolution because they felt safer. They wanted to be with us and not the government. We did not have many arms to protect the people, but the people came with the trust of their life in their hand. The population supported our leaders as though they are fathers, although they did not agree with the jurisprudence. As more powerful governments were added to the equation, our voices have been silenced. We are the revolution. We are not a government with trade revenues and foreign diplomacy, or trade diplomacy and foreign revenues. There is one thing made clear from this: the governments have the power, and they are hostile and on the offensive against the population, bombing and starving people when they ask the government to invest in the economy. Syria has trillions upon trillions of dollars of gas. Syria has made hundreds of billions of dollars every year from phosphates and gas over the past 20 years. Damascus has nothing to show for the billions and billions of phosphate and gas revenues he had. There's something more sinister than the failure of Assad to invest those billions in making a stronger economy. Assad had billions in the bank when he gave the orders to kill protesters who were hoping for jobs and an improvement in economics. When the revolution of Syria began to rise, we never had anywhere close to $1 billion. It is dehumanization what the governments of the world have done to the individual man. In the name of God, who gave life to many people and encouraged the multiplication of life, which makes groups stronger than the individuals working alone. We are wounded by the news of the new attack on the godfathers of the revolution. This strikes the heart of the Syrian people in the north. It's a story of a man who has never given a khutbah in his life. He doesn't like to socialize, and he demands to lay the foundations of our society. He does not empathize with us in these tents. He knows we don't like his jurisprudence. He feels threatened by the number of us, 3 million. You may think you know a man named Al-Jolani. He said his father's father is from Golan. Al-Jolani never lived in the Golan Heights. Why did he not select the name Al-Damascus? His father went to jail in Syria for his affiliation to the Muslim Brotherhood. His father is affiliated to the Muslim Brotherhood in the Golan Heights. Possibly, he bribed his way out of prison in Syria. He fled to Iraq. When he returned to Damascus, the Assads were in power. His father was put back in jail upon his return to Syria, and this surprised and devastated him. When he was released, he fled to Saudi Arabia, and his son was born. His father could not bear to be away from Syria. He returned to Damascus years later. His father is Al-Damascus, Al-Shami. The name Golani is the name of his grandfather. Al-Jolani lived in Saudi Arabia until he was 7 years old. At 20 years old, he went to Iraq to help a man from Al-Zarqa, Jordan, to manage an army. He showed up for the Iraq War 3 days before the Americans did. 10 years later, he returned to Syria and he made war against the same men he had traveled to Iraq for. He fought all parts of the revolution in Syria, recruiting men to wage war against the people of Syria who were running from an insane dictator. Why is the man who fancies himself to be Al-Jolani traveling everywhere but never to Golan? Allahu Akbar.